Hi guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for another royal news video. I hope you're all keeping well. The week is just trundling along. There's been so much Invictus news that's been oversaturated, all to do with Harry and Meghan, exactly what she plotted and she planned. But I don't think she planned to leave as early as she did, but I will talk about that shortly. So let's start off this video with some sad news. It was sad news for me, it was sad news for some of the royal watchers, but it was the announcement that Prince William and Catherine would not be attending the BAFTAs. Now, I look forward to this because Lord alone knows everybody could just do with a real big epic Catherine walking the carpet in a beautiful Jenny Packham gown. No matter what's going on in the news, it's enough to brighten most people's days. But they are not attending it this year. Prince William, due to Catherine undergoing cancer treatment last year, he came by himself. But this year it falls on the beginning of the children's half term. Now, I will say, given the fact that everything that they've been through, Catherine is now in remission. Last year alone, it must have been very awful for the family. I can't imagine how hard it must have been watching Catherine go through all of that. So obviously she's feeling a lot better and they are no doubt going on a family holiday. Some people begrudge them of that. I find it really, really bizarre because I just think to myself, how can you be complaining over her not going to an awards ceremony because she wants to spend time with her children after obviously going through one of the worst times of her life, and that obviously for her family as well. I'm just upset because I like the glitz, I like the glam, and I honestly reckon that the BAFTAs, I don't think they'll get as many views. I don't think that they'll get as much attention because everybody tunes in to see Prince William and his beautiful princess. But although they're not attending that this year, Prince William has still continued in his role as being president of the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, otherwise known as BAFTA, as he paid a visit to the London Screen Academy where he took part in helping students shoot parts of a short film. The Academy runs lots of courses, all to do with the creative skills, learning the creative skills, of which of course there are many, to give them their first steps into the industry, from animation to costumes and makeup. Then of course you've got directing, technical support, script writing, cinema photography, and all of the production skill. Prince William was there to highlight the next generation of creative professionals and filmmakers, of which I can honestly say I think it's time we had some fresh blood. I don't know if you guys are struggling like me and my husband. I struggle to find anything to watch these days. I binge watched anything that I can think of, and now I'm completely bored. So please, let's get some new creative minds in there, and please stop making remakes. Now, of course, Prince William is no stranger to being filmed himself. He had a go at being on the other side of the screen as he watched the students create some film magic. At the end of each year, the students transform the school into a working film set and they create a short film. This year's film is called Melomania, and it is based in a dystopian future where music is completely banned. It does remind me of a film where I think, honestly, they spray painted Kevin Bacon's jeans on, but judging by the film set and the few bits that I saw of Prince William being there, it doesn't look like that anybody is going to be breaking out into dance anytime soon. So moving away from the Prince of Wales, let's talk about his beautiful wife, the Princess of Wales, who has been visiting a mother and baby unit at HMP His Majesty's Prison Style in Cheshire. Her visit was in the capacity as patron of Action for Children, a children's charity which works towards ensuring children have a happy and safe childhood. They have over 7,000 staff nationwide and operate over 475 services throughout the UK, one of them being based in this prison. Catherine's visit was to help highlight this particular programme, which ensures that the women are able to build strong and loving and safe relationships, mother and baby relationships, even under these extremely challenging environments. People get put in prison for all sorts of things, and it's a really sad situation. But it's good that charities like this are on hand to help and to try and make the situation as normal as possible, in most part, I'd imagine, for the babies. I can't imagine that many of those women thought to themselves, oh, well, this is a great idea. Let's have a baby whilst I'm serving my prison sentence. You know, people get put in prison for all different things. And I think it's great that services like this do exist to help women that find themselves in that situation. Again, this is Catherine. She cares about children. She really does care about the research that she's doing with early childhood development and how important it is for children, for as young as possible, to be as happy as they can be. Happy babies make happy adults. And as you can tell, why that nanny said that Harry was just born angry. And it seems that Harry is still angry, or rather he was, until his wife left. So moving away from the real royals, let's start talking about Harry and Meghan and the fact that Meghan has gone home to spend time with her children. Archie and Lily are home alone no more. No, obviously they were never left alone. They were apparently with Doria. I'd imagine that whoever it is that looks after them on a regular basis as their parents jet set around the world. It's nice for Meghan to be back home with her children just before Harry and Meghan jet off to Tyler Perry's island in the Bahamas, away from their children again, so they can have a bit more rest and relaxation. It must be so tough being them. So Meghan leaving, what do I think about that? Well, I don't think it's as planned as what they've released to the media, that's for sure. There is no way that I think that Meghan would have left before Valentine's Day, bearing in mind she's trying to do this whole act of the most super loved up wife that's ever existed. And also the fact that Harry is going to be hosting another spare from another country, Prince Joachim and Princess Marie. I'm sorry, Meghan left before she could have her photographs taken alongside European royalty? I do not believe it. That would be an incredible opportunity for Meghan to merch being stood alongside another princess with her jewels and everything. It's a big fat fingers up to the royal family. I mean, bearing in mind that Meghan hated the royal family so much, as Meghan's mole spotted, Meghan's been wearing a new pinky ring. It's got her monogram engraved in it. Some people said, oh, look, she's wearing Harry's little monogram, his royal monogram. If you think she's wearing the H and rather the M, I've got a bridge to sell you. This is a woman that bought herself a tank watch identical to Princess Diana's and had it engraved on the back, to MM from MM, because nobody loves MM as much as she loves herself. I've said it before many a time, Meghan, if she was chocolate, she would eat herself. She actually takes after the Duchess of Windsor here, Wallis Simpson, because she was so in love with her royal insignia. She apparently had it stitched into handkerchiefs, cushions, all sorts. So we've seen Meghan now with her very own insignia ring. She's got the front doormat outside wherever it is that they're living that's got it. She's had it put onto her clothes carriers, which you sometimes see security when, you know, instead of protecting Meghan, they're carrying her ball gowns in these nice covers. She's completely obsessed with her titles. And again, I draw back to Gloria Steinem. I don't want to be ranked, I want to be linked. And she's like, woo, I've got a Duchess ring. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You can't make it up. Now, as for Meghan flying home to be with the children, she made sure that she got another Instagram post put up. She really has turned into that Instagram loving comment that they put on South Park. If you remember, she's obsessed from constantly having her phone out now that she's uploading all the time. So what did she do? She rushed home to her children and she displayed 2 t-shirts that were given to her by Team Nigeria at the Invictus Games, who she spent little to no time with. I mean, she's grifted off of them. She's got her little princess sash and all of the jewelry from the country. She's kind of done with them. She's now on to the next people that she can grift money off of. But she took the t-shirts home for the children and displayed them. Didn't give them to the children to show the children, maybe like we saw Prince Louis and Princess Charlotte wearing their t-shirts when they were watching the football on TV that Prince William was at. No, Meghan's neatly folded them, and then she's got some airport candy and some chocolates that she's taken, I think, from the Invictus Games, and it's rather adult looking chocolate. It's not something that I think a 3 and a 5-year-old would find even remotely interesting. And she's got it on a dirty wooden chopping block sock with a screwed up Invictus card, it looks like she just found stuffed in one of her coat pockets. And notice the saucepan at the back. That is a jam pan filled with fruit. This is Meghan still making sure that everybody's aware that she's apparently going to be selling jam at some point soon. They're still trying to push the story that Meghan is going to have her jam sold in these pop-up Netflix stores, but I don't understand under what logo or what trademark they're going to be able to do. She's not got American Riviera Orchard off the ground. It's kind of disappeared. She doesn't even talk about it. She's apparently lost lots of subscribers now, so I think she's just going to pretend that that never, embarrassingly, existed. So Meghan is then, as I said, I mean, she's not a very good influencer. If this is her level of skills that she's got displaying stuff, if she wants to be an influencer before With Love Meghan launches, she's really got to brush up on her display skills, that's for sure. So as for my theory on Meghan not really intending to have left the Invictus Games when she did, well, first of all, you've got the fact there was quite clearly tension between her and Harry at times. We saw the photographs of her chewing off his ear. She had a lot of mask slips when she didn't realise the cameras were on her. So we then are told that Meghan has arrived back in California because the paparazzi were ready and waiting to capture the moment that her private jet arrived. It was just Meghan and a security guard. So they filmed it, and there was 10 or more suitcases that came off of that plane. That alone tells me that Meghan had a lot more coats and a lot more clothes that she was getting ready to merch. Also, I think that if Meghan was going to be leaving early to go home to the children, she'd have made that very clear in the beginning, bearing in mind that Harry and Meghan like to release their itinerary all the time to tell the world of their movements and what they're up to, despite obviously their grave security concerns. But she never made a mention of it. So I think that Meghan was given the old heave-ho. It could explain why she and Harry looked like that they had been squabbling, I would say, at times. As I said, the fact that she had all of these suitcases, that's not a woman exactly travelling light. Now, not everybody agrees with this theory. Brittany from Royal News Network said it's normal for Meghan to not actually attend for the entire duration of the Invictus Games. But I find it, as I said, a little bit unlikely, given the fact that she could have had high-profile appearances with lots of other people, including staying for the big concert at the end, unless Meghan is going to catch another £30,000 private jet back so she can appear in a new designer frock as she did with Rita Ora. It is circulating that Meghan did decide to do this under the radar so she wouldn't take away the attention from the Invictus Games, but that sounds highly unlikely to me. Now, adding on to the fact that I think those two had been having a bit of a squabble, you have got, after Meghan left, Harry took the day off. He took a day off from being at the Invictus Games. I kid you not. A day off for what? Rest and relaxation? A day off because he was hungover? What is Harry doing at the Invictus Games that required him to take a day off? Bearing in mind that Harry and Meghan had already left the Invictus Games, first of all, to watch the ice hockey match. Then they went out to dinner with the Bublé's. So how was he so exhausted or so tired? He needed a day off already from being the founder, the creator of the Invictus Games, as we were told, as Meghan fanned the flames of how amazing and awesome her husband is and how the Invictus Games wouldn't exist if it was not for Harry. In fact, even the veterans would not have made it to the Invictus Games if it was not for her husband, and they all needed to be grateful. And here he is taking a day off. No, I think maybe Harry was just having a bit of a detox, maybe a few yoga positions. Someone was waving sage around him as he detoxed from his wife and the nagging leaving him. I mean, Harry being exhausted and needing some time off, unless obviously scowling is actually exhausting for Harry, because to be fair, he's certainly been doing that a lot more since he got married. And she may, in all fairness, have wanted to genuinely leave herself, because unlike other years, the mainstream media have actually been reporting the negative backlash. Yes, people on YouTube and social media have reported about Meghan's bad behaviour, but to see a lot of the big mainstream media newspapers, even in Germany, picking it all up, talking about how Meghan is trying to be the star of the show and attention-seeking stunts, plus the negative things from moving the woman's wheelchair to waving like she's the queen on the back of the buggy, you name it, it's been brought up and it's made it into a lot of the mainstream media outlets in America and the UK as well. So Meghan is very, very thin-skinned. So maybe she decided, do you know what? I can't deal with this. I'm out of here. Or as I said, it could be the Invictus organisers that said, look, we're getting a lot of backlash, because even I've noticed since Meghan has gone home, I'm actually seeing a lot more news coming out about the athletes, who's won what games have been played, and you're getting a lot more joyful photographs of the veterans rather than Harry and Meghan canoodling. But it's not just Meghan who was getting backlash for her behaviour. Oh no, her fan base have heaped on some backlash as well. They've behaved in a way that is not conducive to Meghan's kindness and compassion brand that she likes to peddle to people, just not obviously her own staff. No, some squaddies were there. They often get photographed at the Invictus Games. Some people believe that Harry and Meghan pay for them to come over and to support them. But they spotted Tom Bower, author of Revenge. They accused him of being there stalking Meghan, that he was part of the UK press. He's not, he's an author, an ex-barrister as well. And they just filmed him. And they were trying to basically get him to say something. It was just very, very targeted. And when I first saw it, I thought, that's disgusting. Who on earth do they think they are? But then the more that they said to Tom Bower, you watch this smirk come up on his face. And I thought, they may not have read his first book, but they might be interested to read the next book that he releases, because they might find themselves featured. The Sussex Squad podcast, they put out a tweet and said, make sure that when you see Tom Bower, make sure that you let him know how evil he is and get it on video. Also let him know he won't be able to stalk Meghan. Better yet, call the cops on him. So basically, go find Tom Bower, abuse him, record it and upload it, and then accuse him of harassment. As I said, the irony is completely lost on them with a tweet like that. As I said, it's hardly any wonder that Tom Bower was smiling as he jotted down mental notes in his head as they were behaving. But I can't imagine she, up on high, will be too happy of her fans openly behaving like a pack of hyenas. So what with all of this combined, maybe she left of her own accord, maybe she didn't. One thing that is very apparent is the fact that Harry seems like a weight has been lifted off his shoulders. He seems a lot happier. He seems a lot more carefree, and it would seem as if the old ball and chain has been removed. So guys, tell me your thoughts on this one. Do you think that Meghan left of her own accord? Do you think Harry asked her to leave after having a bit of a spat? Or do you think the Invictus organisers told her to go? Or do you think this was always pre-planned by Meghan so she could make sure that she got extra attention on herself? Love to know your thoughts, especially about that signet ring, that pinky ring. And I will see you in the comments. Take care for now. See you soon. Bye.